Quite recently, someone shared with me a message that was pinned up on the outside notice board of a church in France. It reads, "When you enter this church, it is likely that you will hear the call of God. However, it is less likely that he will call you on your mobile." In recent times, the use of the mobile phone has been of huge help for people who have found themselves physically alone. But as with all things that mankind seems to put his hand to, there is always a downside. We are all very painfully aware of the perils and dangers of social media. Having a mobile phone would seem to be essential, and certainly my ability to fulfill a range of responsibilities and obligations would be seriously diminished if I didn't have one. My wife Alison often refers to me as a compulsive communicator. When we go on holiday, I always seem to find a way of striking up conversations with complete strangers. We might be out enjoying a family meal or having a drink in a bar, and within a very short time, I find myself magnet-like connecting with some person or group. What is lovely for me, and seemingly less so for my family, is often discovering something in common with the people that I engage with. So, whilst I recognise myself to be a very sociable man, I realise that as a Christian, how vitally important it is to build periods of silence into my life. This isn't as simple as it seems, particularly in our age in which we are constantly surrounded by noise. A constant and perpetual stream of sound is transmitted across the world. I wonder if anyone has measured, or at least tried to calculate mathematically, the collective global decibels of millions of fingers tapping on a mobile phone. Now there's a challenge for someone out there. But it isn't just the mobile that invades the potential tranquility of the day. There's the noisiness of images that infiltrate our consciousness and over which we seem to have very little control. The human mind is subjected to an unending vista of media pop-ups, news flashes, breaking stories every moment of the day. This view, that view. But whose view is it, I wonder? Can it possibly be that so much information, gossip, opinion, and speculation that pings around the planet every moment of the day is so vitally important and significant? There are increasing numbers of people who think not. As one well-known African prelate recently commentated, the world is constantly speaking at a devastating speed and volume in order to say absolutely nothing. And if this is so, then the important question is not so much about what is being said than what is not being heard. As Christians, we understand through the received and timeless wisdom of the Bible that God is known in silence. This was the context in which the boy Samuel heard the voice of God in the temple. Psalm 37, verse 7, counsels the faithful to be still, to be quiet before the Lord. God disclosed himself to the prophet Elijah, not in the earthquake, nor in the wind, nor in the fire, but in the gentle whisper. For ourselves, such a revelation is very much less likely if we permit our ears, our eyes, and our senses to be ceaselessly bombarded with noise. In the Gospel according to St. Luke, we read that Jesus frequently went away from the crowds to pray alone. As Christians, we too must prioritise time and create the space in our day to recharge our spiritual batteries. Otherwise, our metaphorical interior wells will simply dry up. When we reflect in silence on Jesus' words in the Gospel, we will find our faith strengthened and hear that still, small voice of calm, which is God. How much is that voice needed in the world today? So then, keep the faith. And as you pray for me, I shall surely pray for you.